Thank you for being with us. Our top story tonight, setbacks in the selection process. The number of jurors in the hush money trial of former President Donald Trump rises and falls. They started the day with 7, but 2 were dismissed and then 12 were seated. One dismissed juror expressed concern about her identity becoming public and her ability to be fair and impartial. The other was excused after questions over whether his answers in court were truthful. The privacy concerns prompted the judge to bar reporters from identifying jurors' employers. In the midst of all of it, prosecutors asked for Trump to be held in contempt over a series of social media posts this week. Earlier, we spoke with an expert on jury selection. All right, let's bring in legal expert Tama Cudman to discuss today's trial development. She is a criminal defense lawyer who has argued cases in the very same Manhattan courtroom as this case that we're talking about right here. Tama, good to be with you today. Curious, though, how unusual is it to release 2 jurors, and what does that signal?
So, remember something. This is probably the most publicized public trial in American history, right? So jury selection under these circumstances is extremely difficult. It is rare to release jurors once they've been seated, but under these circumstances, this is not unexpected. We expect to see some potential jurors who want to get seated for the publicity of it, because it's an important trial, because they care about the outcome. So we're not surprised by the fact that somebody might have misstated their actual background so that they could qualify for the jury. And it's not surprising that a juror would want to get off of the trial after being revealed because of the intense pressure on jurors to perhaps rule one way or the other at the conclusion of the evidence.
Yeah, and Tama, let's talk a little bit more about that, releasing the identities of these jurors. How potentially dangerous could that be?
Well, under these circumstances, very dangerous because, look, love him or hate him, people have very strong feelings about former President Trump. And the pressure on these jurors to do, each side's bidding is going to be intense. And not just from the public, but also from family members. Look, we know that people have arguments over family dinners over President Trump. So can you imagine if you inject that kind of emotion into this kind of an important decision? It's extraordinary. And I think it's very important that these jurors' identities remain under seal for now.
Yeah, Tama, how long do you think this could take to get all the jurors for this case?
This could take a really long time because we could see a back and forth like this. We could see people get seated and then new information be disclosed that might disqualify them. We could see more scrutiny of the jurors that are being questioned, given the new information that's coming to light. And people who walk into the courtroom thinking that they could be impartial and really wouldn't be influenced by pressure, once they walk in there, they might really get a sense of how intense the pressure on them is going to be. And they might say, look, I can't do this. So it may take some time to see qualified jurors who can be impartial and who can be steadfast against the kind of pressure that they're going to be facing.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Tama, thank you so much for weighing in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate being on.